A little bit about your career and research so far.
So I have recently started my PhD at the University of California, Santa Barbara in physics. The West Coast is pretty big in physics, and so I've just started. I've had an interesting trajectory that will go in depth, but I started going into my undergraduate, kind of wanting to do engineering type physics, and so I started as an applied physics major, wanting to kind of bring physics to engineering disciplines. But then the more I learned about more fundamental physics, materials, the nitty-gritty, I realized that engineering wasn't as much for me. And so I went from building rockets to kind of getting smaller and smaller until I found out I really liked laser and materials physics. And that was kind of so it was my career so far has been kind of marked by a lot of exploration, and in the last few years, kind of narrowing down and down more into what I really like and what I've decided to commit to.
Okay, and with that, so on from most people's interpretation of physics, most will be aware of more uh, applied and theoretical physics. As a result of that, where do you find you fit within that?
Yeah, so kind of the way that uh, physics is distributed is there's two, let's say, approaches. There's theoretical and experimental physics, and computers are kind of used by both. Those are the two approaches to different topics. And so the topics can range from like very niche, not very applicable topics, like astronomy. Well, actually, astronomy is super applicable because we develop a lot of technology for it. But from stuff like cosmology, which is how the universe was born, stuff like particle physics, which apart from nuclear energy, it's not super applicable per se. It doesn't generate a lot of inventions to other fields of physics, like materials physics, which I do, which is directly tied to then materials engineering and then more kind of technology focused things. And so any of these things you can study either theoretically by developing models or by conducting experiments. And so, what I find myself doing is I'm an experimentalist. Although I really like math, and I've done something called quantum information theory. I build experiments to be able to find out new phenomena